Hello and welcome to Deck Spotlight. This is a temporary video series that basically cover Deck Doctor and Deck Pilot while they're on vacation. They're enjoying the Oversky, they're seeing the sights, Rakora is treating them well and showing them around the islands. And the reason is because I feel that Deck Doctor and Deck Pilot won't have any long lifespan if I make the videos now, because the meta is constantly changing with the inclusion of new cards. So instead we're going to be taking a look at this deck, which is called Whales, and it is a blue-green ramp deck that wants to get lands out as fast as possible to get those whales down to swing an advantage in your favour and eventually finish the game. You have a lot of removal, you have a lot of great cards to help you gain lands and Faeria, and a lot of combos with Aurora's Creation, a very powerful card that features in this list. So let's get into some matches and see how this deck performs. Into our first match, we're going up against Red Predator. Red Predator is actually a viewer of mine. He often watches my stream. So if you're watching this video, Red Predator, thank you very much for tuning into my stream, and hopefully we'll have a good match. This deck is very powerful. It's a ramp deck. You ramp in the form of lands. When it comes to Faeria, it's very interesting because you could consider cards like Stormspawn and Windfall as ramp cards, because ramp generally accelerates your resources, so Faeria being the key resource of the game. But interestingly enough, in this expansion, land ramp is very relevant, because land ramp is the checks and bounds for powerful cards like the Frog Tosser, like the Shifting Octopus. Oh wow, Faeria. Faeria is crazy good, guys. This card is nuts. Hopefully we'll get to see him in action. We'll go for a lake here, then we're going to go for another forest here, because we want to be able to play our Taunters in this section. And then we're going to go for a Shifting Octopus on this land. What do we want? I don't think we really need the Taunt just now. I think just going for a 5/5 is pretty solid. It'll help play around Choking Sands if this is a yellow player. Well, a yellow deck at least. And it's just like a 4 Faeria 5/5. That's +1/+1 above the average stat line of a 4 cost, so it's really good. If this is red, we might have a little bit more of an issue, but we'll see. So we're already almost at the Frog Tosser, and we haven't really had any pressure being applied to us just yet. We have the Crystal Flower as well in hand, ready to take care of any big threats that come down, and then we can make another special land, and on the next turn we have Frog Tossers, a bit of removal, so that's really nice. I think we just pass here. We'll leave our octopus friend here to collect Faeria. First special land, going to see an air elemental to second special land. This is going to allow Predator to play some aggression. Shaitan Demon, okay. So curving up here, blocking us out, and another Frog Tosser, very good. So I'm going to take a lake here simply because I want to play Faeria here, with the potential of double collecting in the future. And we're just going to eat this up. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it though. I think just by here is fine. But then again, if I play it here, I'm not in the way of myself. Because I want to be able to move here and clear. I mean, a desert could come down in this spot, and then we have an attacker here, an attacker here. It's interesting. Yeah, I guess we're probably gonna go for Faeria next turn, actually. Faeria into Urna Gabria, then we'll go into a Frog Tosser. So maybe just clear this, actually, just trade off. I miss on the Faeria, but next turn I'll go up to 11, and then Faeria in. I don't even need the Urn to play the Frog Tosser, so yeah, I kind of feel that a clear's fine. Just trading off's absolutely fine there. I miss out on a bit of Faeria. Well, I miss out on one Faeria, in fact, but I do stop any damage for this turn, and I do take care of a real threat. Oh, and see, air elementals are fantastic right now against the blue-green ramp deck, simply because they trade with the Frog Tosser. It was actually really big. Alright. Let's see what else comes. Maybe I want Predator to play a monk. I want to be able to get value out of my Frog Tosser. Follower is great as well. So I'm happy the follower has come down here. And this, again, will allow me to use the Frog Tosser. I'm going to play it this side, I believe. We'll get a frog here, blocking this. I could have actually Fagoro'd first. That's probably a little better. So a bit of a misstep from me. And we'll get the Urn of Gabria. Oh wow, okay. So could even just swallow this. I think that's fine. Swallow this one. So we've really limited the aggression from Red Predator this turn. 6 Faeria. He could go into like Monk, Prayer, Monk, Demon Wrangler maybe. But we've protected Fagoro, which can double collect next turn if we're not under too much pressure. We have this frog to leverage the board for us. And Fagoro being able to double collect is pretty important because it allows us to play another Frog Tosser and set up our last special land, one before last, sorry, towards the Sky Whale. Sky Whale is going to be a big card for us. Worst comes to the worst, we can make a land here, and Fagoro can actually hit every creature that could surround my orb. So if a monk came down here, it's a priority target, but we also can just make land here, jump over, collect the Faeria, Frog Tosser this side, and be back in the same situation we were last turn. Oh, he's actually going to Crystal Flyer Fagoro. Okay. So really just trying to shut down our pressure. This gives us a little bit of breathing room. So we can just take the lake here. I mean, I could +1 into this and give it like, make it a 3/5 with jump, but I might get flowered again. So I'm just going like all in on the Sky Whale. I can play a good defensive Sky Whale and that will stop any kind of swallow mechanics affecting me, and that, well, this lined up perfectly for me in the end. And I'll start building lands up this way. It's really starving Predator of his Faeria. I guess I could have actually played this more aggressively and taken care of my Crystal Flower, but I want to be able to react to any monks that come down. I guess I have +1 Frog Tosser. That's another thing to consider. I also have Wood Elemental, which is really strong. That's an Air Elemental, which he's put out of range, which is pretty nice. But there's another flower. This Air Elemental's pretty good. Yeah, I think I should have played this guy up here, to be honest. Free Fagoro. I think I'm just going to slot him into double collection. Because I still have a lot of reach. Like, from here, I can still hit everything on these tiles. Then I'm just going to Wood Elemental into +1. So I can double collect here, and then I can just kill the Air Elemental. So that's the plan at the moment. Follower, okay. Again, like I can still get access to this with the Sky Whale, and I have like loads of taunts. Like these guys can be taunts for me as well, which is really good. I have removal. I have land. I have card draw if I really want it. There's a demon. The nice thing about Octopus as well is you can summon it on lakes, so you're not like super restricted when it comes to your options. So let's move this right to the middle. Let's take care of this follower. It's +1 is another Sky Whale. And this way we can actually hit the Crystal Flower next turn, free and Fagoro, which gives us a little bit more pressure. We should have done this earlier. It was a bit of a misstep from me, I think, but overall I don't feel like it'll have a major impact. Because I'm just going to re-swallow this with another flower next turn. This poor Air Elemental, he is going to be trapped in prison for a very long time. That's what you get for helping Yellow Rush. It's really tough for Predator from here because nothing's quite enough. And he's actually going to go and free... So he had to use a resource there to free the air elemental for next turn. I guess a Demon Wrangler might come down. If Demon Wrangler doesn't come down, it's actually really sad because I can just going to re-swallow it. So yeah, a little unfortunate there. I can actually do this. Oh, of course, Fagora's in the way. Silly me. So I should have done it this way and collected. Although, I can double land, like, here, for example, and then put in the most weird position. It's a little bit of a visual error there, and then we can double collect and just pass. So yeah, we have Fagora, we have the Sky Whale. Like, these two are going to be able to push some damage next turn. And then we can set up a taunt, maybe an octopus down here. We have to be cautious of Doomsday as well. I think that's something to consider. Another flower. Oh wow, my flower's actually blocking this, which is interesting. So we'll just taunt it up. Oh, crystal flower. Poor Fagora. Poor Fagora. That's fine. I can hit face this turn. Collect. Hit this. +1. And then I'm gonna do this. And this is lethal up here. This is lethal for us. With Aurora. So we can Aurora on Fugoro, and then we have lethal. So he needs to actually clear Fugoro to survive. Might just block us, actually. Like, a body block is pretty decent, but if I pick up another Swallow, I've probably won. I'm not sure, it depends how much Faeria I have. Monk. The saddest of monks. Yeah, but that is going to be it. And already Concede kind of knows that this is the end. Well played to Red Predator. That was actually a pretty tense game. I had a lot of land ramp and Swallow to keep you at bay. And then, of course, the whales came down. That's when things get a little difficult for the Rush player. But good game. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, guys. On to our next match. Galapagos. I don't believe I've played this player before, and not only that, rank 19, a new player at a very high rank. This should be a good match. I want to see what this player can do, unless it's someone Smurf, which it could possibly be. You never know these days. But yeah, let's see what's going on here. And we get greetings back. Let's see what we're getting. We're getting a forest. Okay, so this is potentially the land ram deck. We'll see. I really like lake here. I like lakes on these spots. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of water elementals. But I kind of have to explore. I think I'm happy to match this. The thing is, like, if you go from this side, like if you go from the middle, you go explore forest. But if you go for, unless I want to go lakes, I have feed the forest though. That's the thing. I'd rather get closer to this card using the lakes right now. But yeah, so explore forest is a little clunky because it doesn't allow you to. It means you have to explore here. Whereas if you go forest, explore forest, you have a forest in this spot, which can be handy when defending later on. So I am going to go for the lower forest here. I like building mid-range like this. I don't know. I've just kind of become accustomed to it, to be honest. Mainly because of Horsemasters. I like Horsemaster paths. You know, if you go this way, Horsemaster only goes from here. Oh wow, it's actually okay. Now it's Rush. What's going on? I want this to be a forest, so I'm actually going to take the center spot here. We have a lot of elementals. This is really good against Rush because we can fill the land so quickly. If I can like go lake here, then or I can. Oh wow, Virgin Force. Okay. Joke was playing a deck, a very kind of like aggressive, big green kind of rush deck recently. So maybe this is where the decks come from. So I'm gonna jump over here. I'm just gonna water elemental in front of my face again. And then we'll pass. So next turn I will probably just use the Frog Tosser on this. It's gonna trade, which is fine, because I get that 2-2, and that 2-2 is gonna be really handy. We're already 2 lands away from a Sky Whale. So as soon as I draw a Sky Whale, I'm in a really peachy position. I actually don't mind losing my Wood Elemental here because the jumpers are so much more flexible. So I actually have a board clear, which is not bad. Yeah, we'll just do this. Hopefully this will land here. Nah. Can't have it all, guys. Then we have Frog Tosser for the next creature that comes down. As long as it has 6 life, I can just clear it with the Toad. Oh, okay. Making sure I can't collect. This is why I wanted my frog to spawn over here. And again, I think it's fine because we gain a creature anyway. And now this should definitely, well, it's got a chance to go on the right side, which is kind of sad. But as long as we keep having initiative on board, it doesn't really matter what we lose, as long as one creature remains. If this spawned here, it would have been amazing, but you can't have it all, like I said. Just going to go for some land. Okay, so we're going to jump, collect. Take a draw, I think. Frog Tosser, okay. And then we're gonna make a 7-free, actually. To help kill a Verdant Force. Basically, I'm just forcing him to make Verdant Forces over this side. I want to collect Faeria. I haven't taken any damage, but this guy will definitely help against Verdant Force. And we've already seen one, so we can expect it. Alright, feed the forest. I could have fed this, actually. That was an alternative. Because I'm actually pretty far ahead at the moment. Firing Golem, potentially. Yeah, okay. Firing Golem. Ah, see, that's sad. Making sure we can't double collect off the left-hand side. So I really, really want to find a whale now. I can take a draw. Take this lake. Oh my goodness. I kind of regret not feeding this now. I think the land, the Faeria acceleration would have been really helpful. So we can't play a Sky Whale even if we draw it now, so we can just pass. Maybe even just move this in range. Take a hit on this. It means he can trade it. But I get a good frog. Actually, I get a really good Frog Tosser if he trades into this now. I'm giving up a bit of Faeria collection. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I've never played against Green Rush with the blue-green ramp, so it's hard for me to assess what I need to do here. I need a bit more experience in the matchup. I can take a bit of value just because I haven't taken any damage yet. We're at like turn 6-7 for each player, and I'm still on 20 life. So this allows me to be a little greedy. You know, if I can take the trade off here, I can just Frog Tosser and carry on doing what I'm doing. It's absolutely fine. Fugoro is a very nice draw. I can even feed him. Oh my goodness. Into the Crystal Flower, very nice. Oh, I was hoping to put... If I picked up a whale then, I was in a really good situation. Do I really care about this? Like, I wouldn't mind just taking the Frog Tosser value. I can +1. Oh, I can still +1. Yeah, we can kill this. We can just +1 and crystal this. We can stick it here. I think this is fine. I could have actually put the Frog Tosser on this side to try collect, but I want to hit this flower and put a 7-3 next to his orb, just to apply as much pressure as possible. Oh, that Aurora draw is insane. Oh my goodness. And I think he's realized this as well. And that is a well played coming down. So I had like Aurora on my Frog to clear the Grove Guardian. I could have +1'd an Earthcraft first to fin my deck, hit the Crystal Fire, release my 7-3. I'd have 11 damage for next turn going to the orb, and I had my Aurora to clear out the 5-6. So well played. It's nice to see some green rush. It's different. Let's get into our next game. Alright guys, another game. Another set of whales. Let's see how we do. Oh, Wood Elemental. Let's keep a hold of that and Shifting Octopus. This guy here, I believe we've seen a spoiler for him. Very interesting. Giving us access to more Gift of Steel in red. I'm really actually looking forward to this card because I want to see more red in the metagame at the moment. And we are going to have a very lovely land split here. Get to collect off this well next turn. And then we get to use the Shifting Octopus on the right hand side. Can even take Taunt, and things are looking great. Oh well, scratch that. Imperial Drain just came down. All right. I guess Elemental's pretty good here. Elemental will allow us to force our opponent down one side. I'm going to force him towards the Wood Elemental and make sure this taunt gets its value and it actually has some influence. Oh wow, mountain in the middle. That's dangerous. This is really dangerous, simply because I can now take lake or forest. It doesn't really matter. I'll take a lake since we don't have any lakes on this side. I can take the lake, and now I can use Emperor's Command. Probably not even worth it. I think I'm just going to taunt this up, to be honest, and just pass. So as you can see, a lot of rush coming down on the ladder. It's a good way to counter these whales. So if you're having trouble with whales, rush is an option. I will actually do a deck spotlight on rush, just to give you an option against them if you don't like the whales, if you'd like to counter them instead. And here we go. We see a Flame Burst coming down and a Brigand. So this red rush proven to be a little bit tricky, actually. It hasn't allowed me to collect Faeria, which is a bit of a pain. This guy is just annoying. I really need two creatures, actually, just to be able to chain two creatures down. Take this out with maybe the Emperor's Command, but I haven't really had the breathing room to do that. So let's take a forest. Not really sure what I want to do here. I think I'm just going to make a collector, to be honest. Make this a 3-5. Maybe even a 3-7, actually. Make this a 3-7. This will shimmy over to the side. It's going to take 1 damage from me summoning the octopus anyway. And then maybe if I pick up another creature, I can go creature into Emperor's Command, or I can use Emperor's Command for healing. I think there's a lot of value to shifting this outside of Gifts of Steel range. So let's do that. So now I'm giving him the option of taking the clear on the octopus. But he seems a bit more interested in face damage right now. And if he doesn't clear the octopus and I pick up a Feed the Forest into, say, land ramp, I can just whale something then and then use the Emperor's Command. Okay. 6 Faeria. Might just go into Ground Shaker here. Grimguard. Protecting the 2/3 Brigand. That's pretty good, actually. Oh, wow. And there is a Nerf craft. And I didn't pick up the creature I wanted, unfortunately. I can go Aurora's Creation +1 into Emperor's Command. That is an option. I think that's my best option right now. And then we can take this here, maybe. Again, making potentially just a taunt to lock this in place. But then again, a Gift of Steel I've been very weak to Gift of Steel if I'm not careful. So maybe, well, okay, let's just force him to have the Gift of Steel at least. And then we can move here +1 to Emperor's Command. Take care of this guy. I actually don't mind so much hitting into this. I'm gonna have to kill it anyway, so I might as well kill it on my terms. So the matchup's not looking very good for me right now. There was a lot of early aggression. I did get some brilliant lands in place, you know, locking down that central corridor. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter. You can take just face damage. Yeah, I expected this. Just go straight for the face. I don't like the trade here. Yeah, just put me down to 2. Now I'm in Flame Burst range. So it's looking like it is going to be over. Another Aurora's Creation doesn't cut it. Forest. Nope. Oh, bees. Okay, okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Crystal Flower, we're getting somewhere. I don't think it's going to matter, but we do have Wood Elemental next turn. Flame Burst from hand, you're done. Or maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe I'll be saved. Maybe I'll be spared. Just a Brigand. Alright, we're still in this game, guys. Somehow. Somehow we're still kicking about. We can just go for Wood Elemental now. Make a Forest and go into +1. So this actually gives us +1 next turn into Whale as a bit of counterplay. Draw again. He's digging for those Flame Bursts. He wants it. Cypher's Wrath. No Cypher's Wrath. Yeah, I'm just like dead to Cypher's Wrath now. It's pretty silly. Oh, I didn't even need to, but I'm actually gonna sit on this mountain. It's not gonna. 1 Ground Shaker, 1 Cypher's Wrath, 1 Flame Burst, a Derelict Tower, Flame Spitter, Hellfire, Bloodsinger plus removal. Lots of ways I die here. Oh, I'm not dead yet. Who would have thought? Okay, I can take a draw. Feed. It's pretty good. I'm gonna Earthcraft for healing. Oh, actually, what I should do is this. Gives me 2 draws. Earthcraft. Earthcraft. No healing. No healing. This game hates me. It doesn't want me to live. At least give him the Flame Burst so he can finish me off. There we go. Ground Shaker. Brigand. Into Cypher's Wrath, and there we have it. So he did finally close out the match, but if I had drawn maybe an Emperor's Command, I could have been fine there. So that is the first loss. We lost to Red Rush in the end. We're going to play one more game, and then we'll close it out on this whale-based green-blue ramp. Alright guys, into the last match. I quickly looked at the deck list after that game, and I don't run a second Emperor's Command, so that was kind of silly for me to try and play into that. Well, I'd lost anyway. Like it was very, even if I had the other Emperor's Command, there may be a bit of potential for me to come back, but it was looking pretty bleak, to be honest. But into this game, we'll see what Kodlaki's playing, and that's a lake, so no smoke this time. It's always good to see, and we'll take a lake of our own, and then we'll go for a forest. We're already very close to Fagoro and the Frog Tosser. Fagoro is a nuts card, honestly. crazy good card. But what I like about it is you get to choose what you want from him, and I think that's really valuable. I love mechanics where you have choices, which is why I like the octopus so much. There's decision making involved, and I'm a big fan of that when it comes to card games. So let's just go in the well, I guess. I'm not expecting this wood elemental, sorry, to live. But if I pick up a land ramp card, I can just take care of this with the Frog Tosser. And this is actually a good counter to Frog Tosser. It survives. And that's what's important right now. Something like a Windstorm Charger doesn't survive, which is actually a really big deal for a yellow player. But if you're playing blue-yellow and you're playing any event variation, definitely consider this Snowstorm Lancer. It's very, very good. Let's take a forest in here, get the old octopus down, and then we can probably just go... Let's go Life and Taunt. Oh, I could Wind Soldier. You could Desert Below Wind Soldier, that's the problem. I mean, I could go Attack and Taunt and make sure they trade regardless of what power-ups there are. But I think I'll just go for Life and Taunt. This is just to protect my Wood Elemental, which is now going to move into Double Collection. And this sets up the Frog Tosser for next turn to make sure I can clear it. So I feel that we're in a pretty good spot right now. We also have Fugoro earn into Frog Tosser next turn, which is pretty nuts. Absolutely crazy. You could go Desert, Manta, clear, but I guess he knows that if he clears this, I don't even need Frog Tosser. You know, the Wood Elemental can take care of this jump creature, and I will still have the Frog Tosser to clear something on the left-hand side, which is incredibly valuable, by the way, guys. If you can kill something on the opposite side of your board, that frog then starts collecting from your opponent's side of the board, and it can have influence in combat as well, especially when combined with stuff like Aurora, Frogify, Mirror Phantasm. I'm only running Aurora in this, but if you want to run those cards as well to increase the power of Frog Tosser, that is definitely an option. Well, it looks like he's struggling to figure out a way to deal with the octopus, so it looks like the 3/5 is actually the perfect stat line. I guess I think it's just inevitability on the Snowstorm Lancer that's the issue here, because even if you do clear this by playing some events, I do just get to clear. Oh, he's run out of time. Flash Wind. Clear into Manta. Into another Manta. Alright. So now we can take another land. We'll take the lake. I'm going to play Fugoro. Going to take the urn. Urn, baby, urn. And then we are going to Frog Tosser here. We'll take care of this Manta. I mean, yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I could feed Fugoro now. Go into Wood Elemental. So I have the Wood Elemental blocking this. I guess I can actually I can just Frog Tosser down here. I think I'll just do that instead. So yeah, we'll clear this. Oh, Frog Tosser in here is pretty good. And then we'll lob a frog across the board. And this is a kind of a miserable position for my opponent to be in, because there's a frog on the left hand side which he's just going to soldier in, but that's using a resource for a card that essentially can free for one for me. And he's going to have the unfortunate situation of me just throwing another frog over the left hand side. So I kind of feel like Kodlaki needs to actually play something and he doesn't. So this is going to allow me to set up some more frogs. So again, kind of in the same situation, unfortunately. And now I'm one land away from the Sky Whale, so anything big that comes down that could threaten me is just going to get eaten. And there's potential of... well, I would say it's potential 7 damage going to the orb next turn. I'm probably going to collect with my other frog, if I'm honest. But I don't need to swallow anything. I have Wood Elemental, which allows me to draw. So looking pretty good at the moment. I can't complain. That's for sure. Stretching, just going, letting the blood flow. Oh, that frustrated hand shuffle. And there we go, that's it. That's going to be the green-blue ramp taking another win. And that's just a little taste of what this deck is capable of. Be sure to check it out. Alright guys, that wraps up this episode of Deck Spotlight. I hope you enjoyed the matches. And this deck is very powerful, so if you want a strong ladder deck, I'd recommend trying out a blue-green ramp variant. It might not have to be this list, but you know, just building around Aurora's Creation, the Fagoro, the Frog Tossers, and the Sky Whale is a very powerful package for the blue-green ramp archetype. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, drop a subscribe so you can keep up to date for when our content goes live. We have island playthroughs with various Faeria community members. We had Cappuccino on Island 3 recently. We're going to have another guest for next week. We got Deck Spotlight as well. And I also do a review before the next island comes out of all the cards that were released in the previous island. So be sure to check that out as well. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Discover the Adventure Pouch Oversky, featuring a first-of-its-kind co-op campaign. Team up with either friends or powerful Faeria characters and discover a ton of new content, including more than 30 new cards. Join now to experience the Emperor's daily challenges and reap exclusive rewards. Explore the Oversky and reap the rewards today.